So back out in the garden this time during the day, I've been trying to figure out what other kind of little mini photo projects I can do whilst in lockdown. I noticed there's quite a lot of people doing the whole macro thing, which is great. It's a really good experiment to try and do, and I was going to go down that route, but just with everyone doing it, I thought I'd try something different. It's not the nicest days. It's bright, but it's just cloudy, so there's absolutely zero sun in the sky. There's no break in the clouds at all. So I think what we're going to do, there is a breeze. I think you can see some of the foliage behind me moving, so I'm going to utilise that breeze. What I'm going to try and do, I'm going to find a couple of flowers and try a long exposure with the flowers naturally moving in the wind. Obviously that's going to be a complete hit and miss. All depends on how much movement and how much wind comes through with the breeze blowing things, how long the camera shutters open for, all those variables. So it's going to be quite interesting. But what I'll do, I've identified a couple of daffodils at the back of the garden there, and they're long obviously, so they're moving quite nice. I'm going to put a black board behind them, so it really just isolates them. And obviously with the yellow and the black, it should show up any kind of movement and things like that. So it's kind of abstract, really. That's the abstract. We're using natural resources, be it wind and flowers. So let's see how this goes. Definitely a bit of a trial and error. It's more error than anything. It's finding that happy balance between a blur of yellow, which just looks like it doesn't look like anything. It's just yellowness on the screen, to the definitive daffodil, but it looks like it's just out of focus. So it's not going to plan. I'm trying other things. I'm trying a quick succession of short exposures, and I'm thinking maybe putting them together on one image, because that way you're getting a bit of movement, but you're also getting the sharpness as well. We'll see. As I said, very much trial and error. The scene itself is pretty much bog standard, but every so often the sun comes out, and the sun's kind of behind me at the moment, so that's illuminating the daffodils from behind, which is actually quite nice. It makes it a wee bit, it makes it pop a wee bit more, and the backdrop is just so dark and green. As you can see behind me, it's not too clashing. So I tried a couple of times with this dark black card, but it doesn't make any difference. If anything, it just makes things a wee bit more complicated. It's actually quite nice having that dark green in the background rather than just a sheer black piece of card. So we'll keep on experimenting. I might have a look for some other flowers that are moving in the wind, but if not, I've got I'm pinning my hopes on that quick rapid fire version, and putting them all together with that movement. Might work, but it might not. We'll see how it goes. I've spotted this one little blue flower. It's kind of poking its head up, and we've got a nice kind of reddish leaf next to it as well, hanging onto the maple tree that's above us, but it's a bare maple tree. There's no red maple leaves on it, unfortunately, at the moment. But this, I'm not very good with my flowers. I'll put it below what this flower is. But it's got that kind of nice kind of purpley blue colour about it, and it's offset with this reddish bark and a kind of a rust coloured leaf that's just off to the side of that as well. And this one is just poking its head up that wee bit further than the rest of them as well. So with the sun coming in now, as I said, the sun's kind of starting to break through the clouds. It actually illuminates the scene really quite well. So zoomed in quite a bit. This camera just goes down to f4, so it's not the widest, but if you zoom in a wee bit and you're further, countering that with moving further back, you can actually get quite a nice kind of softness behind the actual focal, the point of focus. And so I've kind of utilised that. So I think I'm right. It's the 24 to 105 Sony G Master lens. So I'm right up at 105 millimeters, zoomed right in. just to make the most of that shallow depth of field when you bring it down to f4, which is, as I said, which is as wide as it goes. I really don't want anything in the backdrop. You know, they want that fall off to happen pretty quickly behind the one purple flower that's standing proud of the others. So I found another nicely illuminated kind of white bush here, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do like I did with the daffodils, take a lot of quick succession shots and focus, just again shallow focus just on the very curved part of the flower here, and the breeze is coming, but it's a bit too extreme, and it's actually because this is on a kind of long twig fundamentally. Flowers are on a long twig, it's actually blowing it out of the shot itself. So I'm going to control it a bit better and create the breeze just with this bit of cardboard that I brought out for the previous shot. That way it's just, you know, just enough just to move it slightly, and with those, you know, lots of quick succession shots, they're very fast as well, but it's still with a wide focal length, so the back drop is just going to be a continual blur as well. So everything's going to be in focus. The only thing that's going to be in focus is just a couple of flowers on that branch there, and hopefully with the movement, and I'll blend all of those photos together, it should be quite a kind of, well, we'll see what it should be. we'll see what it comes up with. I'm hoping to just get this kind of nice kind of natural movement and blur of the image of the flowers themselves. I think it'll probably work better with the daffodils than what I'm doing here, because it might just look like a bunch of flowers, because there's nothing that's, you know, that makes it obvious as just being one or two flowers. It is quite a lot of flowers on that branch, so it might not really have the desired effect, but I'm going to give it a go anyway, because they're nice. The sun is, when it does come out, it shines right onto them, so it illuminates them really lovely. It also makes the ones in the backdrop bright as well, which because they're not in focus, it really makes that a nice softer backdrop as well. So let's have a wee go at that, and yeah, it's going to take quite a bit of editing, I think, afterwards.